What's going on, everyone? Chris back with another exciting video, and today I am happy to bring you a OnePlus 6, and not just any OnePlus 6. This is the Silk White model. It comes in 128 gigs of storage, 8 gigs of RAM. Now there's different variants, different colors. They have mirror black, which comes in at 6 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs, which starting price at $529. They also have, and that one also goes up to the same storage option as this. Then they do have a midnight black, which is this same storage option, and they have 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage. Pricing goes up to $629 for that. The white for the 128 gig storage, the pricing is $579 over on their website. So I picked this up, ordered it the first day it became available on June the 4th, and I actually received it today on June the 7th. So shipping was actually very quick, and that was with standard shipping. I live on the East Coast in California, so your mileage may vary. Let's go ahead and get this unboxed. This is going to be very exciting. I went to their OnePlus pop-up event in San Francisco, and I wasn't pleased 100%. I did like the colors, but I just was really drawn to the white first, and I didn't want to settle, and that's why I waited a couple days. I was patient, and we have the white one. So let's go ahead and actually get this device up and out. We're going to save the main event for last, as always. OnePlus presentation, which is very nice, very premium. You have the case sitting inside this plastic kind of holder up front. Inside here you have a TPU case right off the bat. Sorry, I probably opened that upside down, but whatever. You have booking, which who goes to that? You have your SIM ejector tool right here. You have a TPU case, which is clear, which from what I've seen on other unboxings for the black models, those cases are actually kind of smoke gray, kind of dark. This is completely clear, which actually goes well with the white color, so you can show it off very well there. And then let's see here, you got your booking, safety information, you got some stickers, and that is about it. Now let's go ahead and set that aside. Here we have your USB-C charging cable for dash charging, which is round, and they do have these little clips which will make it nice and neat when you're traveling. You also do have your dash charger, which is actually quite big, but it's big for a reason because of the technology that's built in for dash charging. Is one of the fastest charging standards that are out on the market. But enough of me talking. We have the phone itself. Again, this is the Silk White model. Let's just go ahead and pull this off. All right, here it is, guys. Here is the Silk White. So this itself is gorgeous, and the color is very, very nice. I'm not gonna be able to get it on camera, but this has a very smooth, silky, soft touch finish, but at the same time, it is glass. This is completely glass, and OnePlus stated that they actually have crushed pearl to give it the sheen and the shimmer kind of coloring that it gives on this. And then you have the rose gold, goldish trim on all the accents as far as the frame goes. The camera, the fingerprint scanner, and the OnePlus logo there. So here is just the back of it. As you can see, depending on the color and how the angle of the lighting, you can kind of see just different colors and things like that. That's the pearl. But anyways, 845, the latest Snapdragon processor, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage for this exact model. The screen up front is a 6.28 inch 1080p AMOLED panel, so you're going to have very deep blacks, and this is a very bezel-less design. There is a notch up there, which we'll see in just a minute during the setup. The front-facing camera is a 16 megapixel The back camera is actually a 16 megapixel, and then there's also a secondary 20 megapixel camera which will be used for depth sensing. One is going to be optically image stabilized, so you're going to have very smooth and steady videos. There's just a mic up there. On the bottom you do have a headphone jack. There's your USB-C port for dash charging and a bottom firing speaker. Now you do have the power button on the right hand side. They have moved the alert slider from the left to the right now, so it's going to be quite easy to reach with your thumb, and that makes it much easier versus if you're right-handed, you're having to fumble around and using like your index or middle finger to change that alert slider. The volume buttons are still in the same place over here on the left, and then you have your SIM tray. No expandable storage, but this does support dual SIM. That's one great thing about the OnePlus devices. This is one SKU, one phone that works across the entire globe. So you don't have to worry about buying a specific region model for your country. You can technically purchase the phone if, let's say, you're traveling to Europe, you buy it there. You can come back to the US and it'll still work here. The only difference is you're going to have a European plug depending on that country. But here is the screen. It is actually quite bright, and you can see the notch up here with the small little earpiece there. There is a pre-applied screen protector on here, as OnePlus has been well known to do since recent models, I think starting with the 3 or the 3T or something like that. Now we'll go ahead and just quickly compare it directly next to the Pixel 2 XL, and you can see just the size and the overall screen. So you're actually getting a bigger screen than the Pixel 2 XL and a smaller form factor. It's narrower, but and it's also a little shorter, but you're not getting dual front-facing speakers on the OnePlus. But you can see the bezel down on the bottom for the chin is actually very minimal. Is not that big. Some companies decided to put the front-facing or front fingerprint scanner up there, but here on OnePlus it's on the back in this kind of elongated oval type shape, which is kind of odd. Most manufacturers, if not all, use a circle, which is much easier and bigger, but this I can kind of understand why, because your finger isn't technically a circle, and most of the time how you're unlocking it is just part of your fingerprint anyways. There is the camera bump, as you can see, but it's minimal. It's not too bad, but with a case on it, you shouldn't have a problem protecting your cameras there. Now I do have a rose gold iPhone 7 Plus that we can kind of quickly compare the rose golds to. Now it's hard to kind of get on camera, but the OnePlus rose gold, I would say, in my opinion, is kind of maybe more gold. It's more subtle, I would say. It's kind of a mix between a silver and a gold. Not so much completely gold, but it's not rose gold. So if you take, I would say, more silver and rose gold mixed, then you kind of get the shade of the OnePlus, versus this is rose gold. You can see more of the pinkish reddish hues with the gold, versus this is compared side by side is kind of more silvery in my opinion, but that's not a bad thing. You might like it. I do. It definitely makes the phone unique. 3,300 milliamp hour battery, which is not the biggest compared to the competition. I would have liked for them to maybe make the phone a little thicker and put a bigger battery, but we'll test the battery life as I use this, and we'll see how that works. But let's go ahead and get through the setup real quick, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, we are done through the setup here, and just real quick, I want to let you all know I have set up the fingerprint scanner, which is extremely fast. If you can see this here, it's one of the fastest along with Huawei Honor devices. Now it is going to take some getting used to finding the location because it is so flush to the back of the device, So just want a fair bit of warning, but there's also face unlock here. There you go. My face was behind the camera. So if we look at this, just power button. Sometimes it's not working. Maybe it needs an update, or the lighting, how I set up the phone. But anyways, there's that. Let's go through some of the setup and settings of the phone. Now this is running Oxygen OS, Android 8.1. As you can see, this is a April security patch. Now I don't have the latest update on it because I don't have Wi-Fi where I am right this moment. But if we go up to the alert slider, one of the things they have changed and updated with Oxygen OS is the alert slider is just how it interacts with Android's Do Not Disturb. Now it doesn't cause any weird issues or conflicting. It doesn't conflict now with Do Not Disturb for Android. So now we have buttons. You do have the option for gestures, as you can see there, but with that you do lose Google Assistant integration with the home button. And then you always have the option to hide the navigation bar if you wanted to also. Now, one of the great things of Oxygen OS is all the customizations as far as what the buttons do down here, from long presses to double taps, to being able to open the let's say screen off, double tapping of the home button, you can do that. Gestures for when the screen is off. Now that's something also that is very convenient. You can always double tap to wake the screen. You can do music controls. You can configure depending on the letters that you want to draw. So for example, O, we can make a little circle. It will open the camera up. And like before, double tap the screen to wake the screen. We can do a kind of a right caret to the right for music controls. So now if we go down to status bar, we have the ability to make the battery into a circle. You can make it hidden, that sort of thing. These sort of settings are what normally would be found in the system UI tuner for Android. You do have the option to change the font to OnePlus or Roboto. Display settings, screen calibration, sRGB, DHI, P3, depending on your preference and your type of preference for cooler or warmer display, accuracy of colors, that sort of thing. Notch display. Now, if you don't like the notch, you can disable it or you can make it full screen. You always have the option for different themes, so you can make it dark, so that will make all of your settings, quick toggles, everything into a more dark setting, and then you have your settings here for an accent color. If you wanted that, you can change the color that would make all your accents in the UI to that color and things like that. You have your LED notifications, so when you receive notifications for battery, things like that, when it's charging or low, that sort of thing. The phone already came about 50% charge, which is nice. A nice little bug there. Last full charge, 157 days. So, I don't know, that's probably just a bug. Under advanced, you have OTG pocket mode, so that way when it's in your pocket, it doesn't automatically turn on your screen. You do have OnePlus gaming mode, which basically also reduces the amount of notifications that come in, and disables your battery saver if you have that turned on. Disables brightness. You can boost the network speed, so that way you don't have any sort of latency, and then you can add the games that you want to turn this mode on automatically when you run and open those games. So overall, this is the first look of the OnePlus 6, OnePlus's brand new flagship. Now, I will go ahead and leave my referral code down in the link below, so that way you can get $20 off of a purchase of a OnePlus 6 and towards any accessories that you purchase along with it. Feel free to use it. You don't have to, but as a way of saying thank you to you all, and as a thank you from you all to me, you can use that link and you can help me as well. Full disclosure, brightness is actually extremely bright here, as you can see. that's surprisingly bright. I'm well pleased for a device that is of this price point. You're going to be able to read it an outdoor very easily, and it gets very dim, so at night when you're in bed you aren't going to be blinded having a very bright display even on dim settings. Now this does support obviously NFC. The dual SIM that is supported, you do have LTE, voice LTE on both SIM cards. Now this does have tons of LTE bands, so it's going to work worldwide, globally, and also in the US I believe it even supports band 71, which is T-Mobile's new band for rural areas, low frequency 600 megahertz, which is great there. If you guys have any questions, I'm going to do some more videos as far as unlocking bootloader, how-tos, things like that. I'll be using this, and I will come back later on for a full review and comparisons to other devices. If you guys have any suggestions or comments, questions, leave them down below. I'll do my best to answer them, and hopefully I'll be able to help you guys make an informed decision, and also be able to help you all with anything that you all may need. Thank you all for your support, guys, and hopefully you'll stick around, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good one.